But we have another guest coming on, don't we? Well, let's bring Kassandra in to the Monica Brant Show. Welcome, Kassandra.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for joining us today. Beautiful Sunday. Yeah. Roxy, do you want to introduce her to
our? Yes, of course.
And to me?
That would be my honor. So here we have Kassandra Gillis. She's an IFBB Pro Wellness, and she actually changed from figure. Am I correct? She was a figure pro and jumped onto the division of wellness. And she's been, what, 2-3 times Olympia now?
2 times, hopefully third time.
Yes, hopefully third time. And the first time I saw her in person was actually at the Arnold last year live. Oh, really? So I saw her on stage and I was like, those legs, calves, everything is a complete package. I was like, I need to follow her. So that's when I started following you. And she's from Canada. And she's amazing, and and now she took 4th at the Olympia.
Beautiful physique. So beautiful.
Thank you.
And I think she took 6th at the Arnold last year. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes. So and the 4th in the Olympia, and maybe 1st in the Arnold this year. You never know.
Wow, so that's quite an accomplishment. So, Cass, congratulations on everything that you've done up to this point, and obviously getting the Arnold invite. Can you lead us, kind of take us back to who you were when you were younger and how you got into the sport?
When I was younger, through elementary school, I would play sports like soccer and softball. And then high school, I kind of drifted away from being athletic. And then 2017, I had my son. He's 6 years old now. And after I had him, I had gained quite a bit of baby weight, and I was like really unhappy with my body. I had anxiety, so I needed to find an outlet to kind of, help and get into shape. So I started training in my living room, watching YouTube videos. And then eventually I started getting like little dumbbells and barbells in my garage. And then once I had the confidence, I ended up going to the gym, and it kind of just kept progressing from there.
I'm so impressed. You and Amanda both have somewhat similar story.
Really?
You guys probably haven't talked about, she was talking about the same similar thing, right?
Everyone started in their living room. Like I started in my living room too. Before I hit the
That's gym. Awesome. It's funny how many people get intimidated to go to the gym, right?
Mm-hmm. Wow. It's like we don't even know how to could we only do 5-pound dumbbells? It might be too heavy.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you went into it's okay. You got into the gym finally, and then how did you end up on stage for your first show?
I was working at Fit for Less, and people would ask me if I was a competitor, and I thought it was crazy. Like I always admired them, but I never saw myself on stage. I'm very introverted actually, so it was like it was a crazy thought for me to be on stage, but I decided I wanted to give it a try, and it went really well. So then after my first amateur show, I did my first national show and I came 2nd. And then after that, I ended up going to Colombia, which was actually the very first wellness IFBB Pro qualifier, but I had competed in figure, turned pro in figure there. And then the pandemic hit in March. So I was working on a farm, honestly, to stay sane, everything was closed. It was like everyone was kind of mentally struggling, I feel, at that time. But yeah, and then my coach reached out to me and was like, have you considered wellness? And I was like, I love the category. It's so beautiful. That's the reason I started to work out, was because I saw Vivi Winkler, and she's just gorgeous, but she's curvy and has beautiful muscles. So yeah, I ended up switching categories and went from there.
Okay. I love all of that, but I have to take a second because I'm a country girl. You said you were working at a farm?
Yeah.
I love that. What were you doing?
It wasn't like they only had like 6 chickens, and they had some dogs and stuff like that. It was a lot of landscaping. So it was like working in the pouring down rain, cutting blackberry bramble. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like a very aggressive weed. So like I was like all cut up, and it was miserable, but it makes me appreciate things, a lot more when you experience stuff like that.
What part of Canada?
I'm in Maple Ridge, British Columbia, so it's kind of like a suburb from Vancouver.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you went out during the lockdown to work on a ranch, yeah, that's so fun. The animals, were the animals helpful and just kind of being around them and having something different to think about than what's all going on around you?
Sure, yeah, I've always loved animals. Like before fitness, I took courses for dog training and I worked at dog daycares and everything like that. So I definitely love dogs. They help out a lot.
That's awesome. Is your coach in Canada or is your coach down in the States?
He is, but he's in Montreal, so he's way on the East Coast and I'm on the West Coast.
Okay. Well, and how often do you get to see him and work with him?
I see him weekly video chat, but I only usually see him when I go to shows. But I did quite a few shows last year, so I've seen him quite a bit.
Cool. Does he come down to the States with you to like for the Arnold? Will he be down here working with you?
I'm hoping he can make it to the Arnold. If not, we've done enough shows together that we're pretty confident we can still, peak properly. Obviously, it's better to have your coach in person for a big show, but I have like a pretty intense ring light I use. So I find that really helps if you're consistent with your photos and have good lighting.
Right. That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Because, I just think back of all the days of competing for me and trying to send good pictures, and you're like looking in your house, like, where can I stand that has the best lighting? Send a coach, and you're like, there's no good lighting in a house typically for what you need. We didn't have ring lights back then.
Yeah,
that's
come
so
a long way.
About that, right? Come a long way. That's awesome. Oh my goodness. So, how far outside of the Olympia did you learn about the Arnold for yourself? Were you invited?
They didn't announce the Arnold until I think it was like 7 weeks out, I feel.
Yeah.
So
like January 6th or January 7th, I think.
I was pretty confident that I was going to get accepted, but it's still not real until you get the official invite. So.
And how far out of the Olympia do you have to put in the Arnold invite or the request for the invite?
I'm trying to remember when they opened it up. I feel like it opened it up like September or October.
Oh, so that far back.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but it's been a long time for me. I know that we had to put them in. So, okay. So that's a long time. That's a long period before even the Olympia. So mentally, just knowing that you're going to do the Olympia and in a very short amount of time, come back for the Arnold, with that invite, but that's a lot. How does that feel in your brain thinking about all of that? Or was that not even a question for you? Because you had to get through the holidays, New Year's.
Or did you have to prep all throughout? Like from Olympia, as soon as you got out stage, just straight to the Arnold, even, we didn't have the official list just yet, but knowing that you do it.
I got to enjoy the holidays.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I didn't go too far off, and I can usually get in shape fairly quickly. Like I generally start cutting 8 weeks out. I don't, get too big in my off season. So yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. So moving into this place for you and this, because where you came from to now, you realize you're a role model, right? Has that set in?
No, not at all. That's crazy to think about.
You are. So what kind of legacy do you hope to leave for this industry? Because obviously the industry's been around for a long time. The women's sports, I don't even know when bodybuilding started, but back in the 50s somewhere, 60s. And fitness wasn't until the late 80s. I started in 91 and fitness had just been around for a couple of years. And look where we are now, 2023. It's just amazing to see the industry grow and how much has happened over all these years. So what kind of legacy would you like to leave in this industry if you could leave one?
Legacy, I guess not to just give up after your first shot, just keep trying until you improve and get better. I see so many girls that have like insane potential and then they do one show and don't get that placing that they want, right? And then yeah, so I feel like I did so many shows that it really made me a better competitor, and I hope to continue to inspire other moms and other women to stay in shape and compete. And yeah.
Well, that's awesome, especially, you know, having a child, and then of course, you know, the travel back and forth. So speaking of traveling, what kind of advice can you share? Because sometimes the travel part is really challenging, you know, just having your stuff together and, you know, coming across the border and all of the things, you know, once you get to the
peak week, you know, it's like when your brain's kind of like peak week brain.
yeah, so
definitely it's a challenge, but I kind of have my own system now. I have like a cooler backpack, and I'll either like freeze some of my meals beforehand, because you're not supposed to bring ice on the plane, right? So I've gotten away with a cooler pack before, but it's easier if you just freeze one and it keeps it cold. I like to do like 1 or 2 days, and then usually I will do like a grocery shop if I have a place to cook my food or stuff like that. A lot of people in the US seem to have meal prep sponsors and stuff like that, but we don't have any good like meal prep companies in Canada. So yeah.
well, you could still, and maybe not this show because you know you probably got your system already, but like thinking in the future, make sure you know you look into. There's so many really good companies out there, and I know for my last shows, having that meal prep stuff was so awesome. Like one less thing to think about, and there's so many different companies that probably you know you're like, I mean, hey, I'm going to be competing at the Arnold. Would you be able to sponsor me for the Arnold? I mean, even if it's just that show or just shows when you come in town, it doesn't obviously can't get across the border, but I'm sure you could get, you know, some kind of meal prep because it is so nice to have those little meals just show up and they're just perfect.
Yes.
Don't think too hard about it. Oh, so what sponsors do you have right now?
I just signed with Dragon Pharma
Okay.
about a month ago now, so that's very exciting for me. I got to fly out to Miami and do a YouTube.
That's awesome.
Video. I'm going to document all of my prep this year on their channel. It's been really cool because I feel like I don't really talk enough on social media because I'm so introverted. So it's really pushing me out of my comfort zone, which is the great thing about bodybuilding. It's consistently pushing you. So that's my newest sponsor. And then other than that, I have CZiDesign competition suits, X bands. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, you'll need a meal prep sponsor soon.
Yeah.
So any meal prep companies that are tuned in right now, she needs a sponsor. Get her sponsored.
Well, and I've got, if you need one, I've got a gal in Houston that's got one called 𝗦𝗦liche, and she does a good job too. So
does she ship them, or is it just Texas area?
No, she ships all over the country.
Wow. Okay, I'll look into that.
And she does like they come dry freeze dried. Is that
freeze dried?
Yes. They're awesome. And the way she ships them, like they stay frozen for a long time, if you know, but they can be obviously defrosted too. But yeah, because the freeze dry, she does a really good job, and she's on the ball. So, and she can just do whatever. Like she has pre-made meals, but then she can do whatever you need her to do. And
my meals are so simple. Like I just eat potatoes and rice, chicken and ground beef. So it's
okay.
Yeah, no, she can do simple. I mean, so she's a, like, I call her a food artist because she makes really fun stuff, but she can do anything. She did all my prep for my 2016 shows when I competed the last time. So now I just eat her food, but yeah. It can be very specific. So with social media, how do you feel, or not feel, but how do you get the footage? Do you have someone that helps you put stuff on? Because I know there's a lot of footage that's coming out, but it's like, the selfie stuff is so challenging, right? You're trying to be an athlete and then a producer of content and, you know, hair, makeup artist, like what, you know, all the things that, or just your outfit in general, like in having the right positioning of stuff. So do you have someone that is helping you kind of with those day-to-days, or however you got, whenever you need footage?
I do have, like occasionally my friend, if I'm training with them, they will shoot a video of me. I also have Tyler, who is a friend of mine that works at West Coast Iron. So he's been helping me kind of document little pieces of prep. And then I have another friend named Brandon as well, but it's like every other week or so I'll shoot content with them. It's definitely hard to do your own content for sure.
Yeah, right. You're like trying to work out and then you're trying to put the camera in place somewhere.
You need to, like, get the workout done. So
you're
it's
like, I'm trying to be an athlete here. Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest differences that I see, you know, over all the years of what I've done is like when I was competing through all the years back in California, you know, I lived in LA and trained at Gold's Gym. Like the only time we did photos and stuff is for a photo shoot, magazines, or, you know, or they wanted to get a training article, but we never documented anything. And nobody ever was, you were always covered up until right before you did your
show itself or something.
Yeah. And then the show, like you never walked around, like people just, you know, wait, well, there's a person here or there that did, but for the most part, like we all were just covered and then we train and then we leave. But it's so different now. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because you can't just be private about your prep. You have to be putting it out there all the time. And right. Like, how do y'all feel about that? Cause for me, like old school, I'm like, I wouldn't want to have to do that. It's hard enough now to document stuff.
Like, I know it is hard for sure. I think there's definitely benefits and, you know, disadvantages because so many people Photoshop their photos and then you can't up the stage. So there's that. Then comparison, like I generally try to not, you know, compare or look too much at other people's physiques, just head. But sometimes I wish there wasn't social media, you know, I just wish I could shut it down and
so you don't have that, you know, comparison, especially going into the Arnold, you know.
It's all a part of it now. It's become a business, I think. So there is that as like you can do a lot more with bodybuilding and creating businesses now than you could probably back then. So
well, talking about business, I was going to say you do have that your business KG Jeans, right? Which I love. I'm a fan. These jeans are the most spectacular jeans ever, especially if you have like, you know, big legs. So like I ordered one pair from her website. And as soon as I got them, I can't stop wearing them. I had to order a second one. It's that good. So if you're athletic, her jeans are just phenomenal. So does that help like you as an athlete, as an Olympian? You know, does that help your business as well? Since we're talking about the business,
give it a boost. I did put a lot of money into traveling and going to trade shows and stuff like that. And we did make some sales, but now I kind of have to figure out what the best way to reinvest everything is. Cause I feel everything now is just, you know, like ads online, content and stuff, as opposed to selling things in person. So it's definitely a learning experience. It's not easy. It's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. So, but it's exciting. And I'm proud that I created something that I am happy in.
So this is your website here, KG Jeans.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'll have to go check it out because I'm always the same thing, looking for that, you know, that good pair of good fitting jeans. And then when you get them, like you have them forever. Like you never want to let them go because they fit so well.
It's like you have to buy like multiple pairs just because like if one, you know, gets too old just because you keep washing it, you just have to have a backup. That's how I see it. That's what I'm going to do.
That's unique. I like the jeans. That's cool. Wow. So we've got the Arnold a couple weeks away and we've got companies asking you to document stuff, or how much documentation do you have to do between now and then? The last, what did we say? Is it 13 days?
12 days.
12 days?
12 days. Yeah.
I'm actually doing a video shoot on Monday for it'll almost be peak week, but that's going to be on the Dragon Pharma YouTube channel. So I have that planned. And then they're also going to be flying to the Arnold. So I'll be having my whole show experience and stuff like that.
Oh, are they going to do like a documentary of you?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's so fun. The fans are going to love it. Now, I guess as much as the social media part is very challenging and seems to sometimes feels like it takes away from what you're doing. But just think about that one or two or hundreds of people that you will affect in such a positive way when they see, you know, like you were talking about how you got into this and how you were working out in your living room and you felt like you were, not in the skin you wanted to be in, and being a mom, and that it's awesome to know that what you're doing is ultimately benefiting people and blessing them and encouraging them. And I think if that's, if it's a takeaway, for social media, is as frustrating as it can be, it really does have that beautiful upside that you can bless so many people along the way.
That's something I don't think about enough. I think we get too obsessed about like, oh, someone's going to say something negative, but the more followers you get over time, the more there's going to be negative comments. So if there's people that are getting inspired, that's huge.
Oh man, the negative comments, I remember getting them in the magazines. It'd be like, yeah, you just have to put those down because there's more positive than negative usually, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So 𝗦𝗪cie, Claudia's got a video that she wants to share. So
let's see
if Claudia
were to not be transsexual.
I feel like that's a limiting belief you have.
It is, but it's also a firm belief that I stand by, that there are two genders, male and female.
Very nice. Very nice.
So with that video, it's like from the Olympia to the Arnold, what are you bringing to the Arnold that maybe we didn't see at the Olympia?
So my feedback was more hamstrings. So I've just been like training very hard, hamstrings and glutes. I think I've made some progress there. Also a thing was my walk that people keep talking about. I'll practice it at home, but then when you're on the stage, sometimes, it's a little bit different, or the flooring. So I've really been trying to focus on improving my walk. So I'm hoping my posing is a lot better at the Arnold this year.
Making it feel a little more fluid.
Yes.
Walk, so it's more it looks more natural, even though it's not real natural, but it looks more natural.
Yeah, exactly.
What kind of flooring was at the Olympia?
Prejudging, I think it was, I don't know if it was carpeted or maybe a little bit of carpet, but the finals, it was like a very spongy floor because they had it for the fit competitors. So
that makes it challenging to walk in heels and then turn and then pose. And
there was actually holes in the stage.
Oh my gosh.
To avoid the box at the front. There was so many holes. A couple of girls actually stumbled. So luckily I wasn't the first on. My teammate was the very first one on. And so she like ran around and was like, be careful, the floor is like super spongy. So thank God she told me about that. But
it kind of makes you wish you could go back to, and maybe I'm wrong, but when we started fitness, when the first fitness Olympia, maybe was it? We were barefoot. Yeah. When I won the fitness Olympia 98, we were barefoot for our 2-piece rounds, which I actually really liked. And then we had heels on for the night for the 1-piece round. But I don't know. How do you feel about having the chance to present yourself barefoot? Would that matter, or even on a stage like that with that squishy stuff?
That would be so much easier. Like I love the femininity of the heels and stuff too, but a little bit jealous of women's physique that they don't have to. Yeah.
Well, there's so much femininity to walking barefoot still, and positioning your feet and how you move your legs. And, so there's so much still grace in that. And you have a little bit more, stableness in your feet, right?
Well, when it comes to heels, I don't know if you've tried the new Olympians 2.0 from Shoe Fairy.
I haven't tried the newest one.
They are amazing. It feels like, because I don't like wearing heels, but when I wear those, it's like I'm wearing slippers.
Okay.
It's pretty good. So
something to try.
Something to try, most definitely.
All right. So when do you fly into the Arnold? What day? And you said you have a team that you'll be with?
Yeah, I'm actually going to bring my husband, and I just got my son's passport, so they're going to be coming with me, which is very exciting.
That's awesome.
How old is your son?
He just turned 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mama's on stage. Oh my gosh.
And then I fly in the Wednesday, and we compete on the Friday. So.
And just the one day for you, just Friday?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good. Good. So it's just the one day. That makes it a little easier.
2-day shows just like drags out the anxiety
and the hunger.
Yeah. Do you have any? We were asking Amanda. She said she might have a refeed meal today. So do you have anything like that coming up that you're excited about?
My coach said most likely I'll get a refeed on the Friday coming up. I've been planning my mom's 50th birthday party for a while now. It's kind of, it's exciting. I get to like look at all the good food and plan it. But I think I'll get a slice of cake on Friday. But
slice of cake.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say your mom's party's on Friday?
Yes.
Oh, how fun!
So happy birthday to mom.
So okay, so this is a good question. How do you fit in the normal? Because I'm sure people are wondering, like, how much cardio, how much working out, how often, how many hours a night do you have to sleep, and then food prep, and then do you have anyone helping you with those things? And then how do you fit in like normal stuff, like being a mom and planning a party for your mom, a 50th birthday? Like that's a big event to plan, right? Like if you want to do it, nice for your 50th year.
I guess just the support of everyone. Like my husband is a huge thing. My parents, if I need somebody to watch my son, and my son's in kindergarten now too, so that helps. But yeah, I guess my diet isn't as intense, I feel, as the figure category when I competed, because like you just have to get as shredded as possible. Wellness is kind of like a little less conditioned, so it's a very tiny bit of flexibility, but yeah.
That's awesome. And what do you stick with like a lot of protein? What is just kind of the breakdown look like for you? Maybe just for people to kind of hear, are you eating a lot of protein, or are you kind of minimal? Is it 1 pound per lean? Is it 1 gram per lean body pound, or how do y'all figure that out?
It might be a little more than that right now. So right now my meals are 125 of potatoes or grams, 125 grams of potatoes, and then 125 grams of chicken. And that just got cut like a week or two ago. So I have had peak weeks though, where I'm eating like 3,000 calories. It just totally depends where my body is at, right? So.
Okay. And what about, are you taking in fats right now still?
Yeah.
What are your favorite ones to use?
Almond butter.
Oh.
I love almond butter.
Are you able to just take the scoop or whatever you get and then be done?
It is tough. It is tough to, cut it off, but I'm good with that.
I know sometimes for me, it was easier to count out almonds and have them set aside than have the jar.
Yes. Like have little, yeah.
Yep. And then you bite the almond and then you bite a little bit more so it lasts longer.
Yeah, when you get down those final weeks, it's just like making the chicken into little tiny shreds.
So it's like it's more food, even though it's not.
Yeah. What is one of the most bizarre ways of, and I want to share what I was doing at one point, but what is one of, maybe in your mind, maybe for you it's not, but maybe somebody else would think it's a bizarre way of eating getting your food in. Is there anything like interesting like that you've concocted just to get it in?
Sometimes I'll do like a pancake from like oatmeal and protein powder with an egg. I feel like that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
And then when I'm not too close to a show, I do like doing like the berries and the yogurt and the protein powder. That's like a little ice cream kind of treat.
Right. We tell ourselves that.
Yeah.
It's like ice cream. Yeah. I remember I was having, back in the day, there wasn't a whole lot of choices, and I was eating canned tuna, and I was so sick of the canned tuna. So I literally started putting the canned tuna, and it was just in water, but I would chop it up real small and I would mix it in with my oatmeal and a little peanut butter.
Oh my God.
And then I started doing my chicken like that too when I was doing my chicken. I tell you what, it actually was not bad. And if you cut it,
I need to try it.
If you cut the protein up just in small little bites and just mix it with the hot oatmeal, like for some reason, it kind of just takes away the weird flavor of.
That sounds like my peak week meals, because usually it's either rice and potatoes, almond butter, chicken, and then salt. And it actually comes together. Almond butter, salt, and the sweetness. It's pretty good.
I love like almond butter with like chicken, or almond butter with steak. It's like a chicken satay or something, even though it's really not.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Well,
whatever gets us through.
Right? Yeah. Do you have any kind of mottos for yourself this year, like or goals that you want to achieve this year that you'd like to put out there?
Goals. I'm going to be doing a few shows, so I really hope to win those shows, obviously. And really just having a winning mindset going into the Arnold. I feel like I've never allowed myself to be confident for the Olympia and stuff. I'm like, maybe I'll do well, but like, I'm really trying to go into this, like, I'm going here to win and be confident and just also enjoy the process and hopefully share this a lot more than I usually do.
That's awesome. I like that. And the mind is so crazy because, you look at a picture and you just automatically think, oh my gosh, that person has it all together and they look confident. They look great. Like, how could anything be wrong? Right. And it's so crazy, the mindset that can be like kind of underneath of that appearance. But that's awesome that you're already, you're thinking in that way because you should. And speaking of that, do you have anyone that you think is like your biggest competitor that you're like, I mean, obviously we, as athletes, we go into these things and we all like each other and enjoy each other's company and backstage and all that. But is there one person or maybe a couple of them that you're like, wow, they're going to be really tough to beat?
I guess there would be Angela and Ryan, just because I've competed with both of them. Ryan was right behind me and she is incredible, beautiful physique, posing, everything. And then Angela is the only one I've never actually beat. So those are the two top girls, but there's lots of girls. Everyone's looking crazy right now. Amanda Beth she's going to kill it too. She looks so good. My teammate Marissa, it's going to be a good competition, but it doesn't matter what you look like right now. It's how we all and tan, everything. So,
and everyone looks so different. Everyone's like bringing different structures to this Arnold. So it's like, it really, I guess, depends on the judges, what they're looking for that show. So even like you bring your best, depends again on the judges, but I have faith in you. So
well, we're super excited for you to be able to go and just have that winning mindset, get on that stage, walk, just take a breath, right? And just think about being soft. I think that was one thing that really helped me because the stage presentation stuff was really one of my favorite things. And I coached it for years and years and years and I loved it. But it's just thinking soft thoughts because the body gets so hard. There's so much muscle there. You've worked so intensely to get there. And when you're on that stage, you want to think about being soft because we're women. You're beautiful. You have these beautiful lines and there's so much intensity there. But if you can think just softly and think about kind of flow, soft movement on stage and allow the body to stay movement soft because it won't be soft otherwise, right? Like you said, you're going to be ready. You have the leanness, the muscle density is the hardness, and it's all going to be there. And if you think about showing it less and just allowing people to see like this movement that's just soft and flowy.
Yeah, the graceful muscle kind of.
Think like that, right? Like, don't force a walk that feels awkward. You do what you do, right? And I always told the girls I coached for that, I'm like, don't try to emulate me or somebody else. Fine if you're like, you see the way it moves, but then find your own rhythm that feels comfortable, the speed, the movement, the fluidity. You can do less and still have more. You don't have to do a lot of movement that takes away from just your beautiful structure. And I mean, just even thinking of just modeling as opposed to posing, even just thinking in that term, because you are gorgeous, like, and like,
thank you.
Yeah. And so I'm just thinking like, if I was to coach you in that area, not that I am or trying to take away from anything that you're doing already, but just like think model,
I like
soft, classy, and think soft. Like,
and it's almost like a dance too. It's like, depends on the music that they play once you're up on stage. Like whenever I hit the stage, I just like enjoy the moment and not even think about like, should I turn this way, because it becomes robotic. But once you just feel like, okay, this is a dance. I'm showing everyone what I worked hard for, because you already have the body, you have the conditioning, you have the face, the hair, complete package, So all you have to do is just enjoy and tell people like, yep, you're welcome. You're welcome seeing my body. It's like having that mindset, you know?
Get a photo shoot almost, because I do feel like photo shoots, I have this energy and I'm confident, but then on stage you're like, you know, you're focusing. So maybe just
listen, it's all there. Just think you're modeling. You are modeling what a elite, world-class wellness competitor's body looks like. You're modeling that, right? And there's, you know, I don't know that there's any, you know, maybe when you're doing quarter turns or something, there's not a whole lot of like mandatory poses that you have to do when you're presenting yourself. So allow yourself to have a little freedom and just feeling how you feel at that moment. You don't, you know, if the music's going fast, you can stay slow. Like you don't have to match unless you feel it. Like, you know, Roxy may be able to get in there and move to that beat better. You know, I had to always just stay really soft in my thoughts and breathe, because the moment we don't breathe, the body gets tense, and then you see it through the arms and the fingers and the legs. So make sure you're breathing in the nose and releasing through your mouth, and just thinking the more oxygen you can take in through your nose, it fills your lower lungs up and it produces more oxygen throughout your body, so your body can stay more relaxed.
Okay.
Because if you start breathing too shallow, our bodies will tense up going, we need more oxygen. And that's all it's saying is we need oxygen. Is this a fight or flight? Because there's lack of oxygen, you're breathing shallow. So take deep breaths, you know, in the nose and out the mouth. And then just, you know, obviously you're smiling. You can do that while you're smiling, and then just flow.
But just enjoy it. I just say, just enjoy it.
Yeah. I'm excited for you. So thank you for letting me speak into that a little bit, because it was one of my favorite things to coach is the poise. I always called it poise and presentation.
Yeah.
And it starts backstage. It doesn't start the moment you walk on stage. It starts behind that curtain before you walk on that stage. That same
kind of, when you're walking around backstage, are you like walking the way you would on stage? And like,
yeah. And be careful of your pump up timing, that it's not too close to that. If you do something that is a pump up, and it's just my opinion, if you do pump up stuff back there, it makes you kind of like tense and hard, and you're like, you know, doing all this, you're seeing everyone else do that. When you go to walk on stage, you're going to be in that mindset. So I would say make sure that that's done. And then you just focus on being beautiful, cast modeling your wellness physique. That's world-class, right? That's where you go before. And I would say, you know, maybe 10 minutes before you get on stage, that's your mindset.
I like it.
Just walk around backstage and think soft, pretty thoughts. Don't focus on what anyone else is doing. And that way, when you get on stage, it's already what you've been practicing. It's already like, you know, I think about it like a track athlete. You know, you go to warm up for a sprint. Well, you're doing all the things that you need to do before you're going to go sprint, like, you know, all your drills and all, if you have a baton, like, you know, you've got to, whatever you're going to do on stage, you want to be doing that before you go on stage.
Yeah.
You're not actually on stage lifting weights or bands or pumping up. You're up there flowing and looking amazing, right? So all the work's done. So step into that next mindset of, I'm a model now, and now I'm going to go show my model side. Okay. Do you have a place because I know when I was at the Arnold competing, we always would go to one or two restaurants that we loved. And, you know, afterwards to try to go get a good meal in. Do you have a place that you guys are going to try to go to after the show and eat something that you love?
I know Marissa made reservations somewhere. I can't remember the name of it, but there's also a new restaurant in the Hilton Hotel all the athletes are staying.
Oh, okay.
So I'm excited to try that for sure.
Great. Good. I love it. Very fun. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience for the end here?
Not really. Just thank you guys for having me. It was nice meeting and talking to both of you.
Oh, it was great talking to you too.
Thank
you so much. Yeah, thanks for taking the time. Very excited for you to be on that stage. Like, you know, Roxy said, just enjoy every minute. And I love that you're getting that documented. Oh, I think that would have been so fun to have, be able to have done that.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm excited for that for you, and try to just enjoy it, because, you know, we never know when, you know, Arnold's not there anymore, or, you know, like we just don't know what's happening again. So take every advantage of enjoying that moment. getting everything you can get documented, even if you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And you have a team there helping you get it in.
Mm-hmm.
And be real on that thing too. Like, let people know, like, it's hard to do this video stuff. I don't really want to, but I'm here because I know it's gonna be a benefit for somebody, and I am excited about getting. I think it's fun. So
for sure. Are you guys gonna be at the Arnold's or?
Mm-hmm.
Roxy is. I want.
Yeah. Because I'm just like a state away. I'm in Michigan, so it's like right next to Ohio. So yeah.
Yeah, I got to go this last year. I was there with the Arnold education piece, and I was hosting the show from the Arnold. It was really fun. But this year, I'm going to be at a horse show in Arizona. So, but I'll be cheering you on from Arizona, girl.
Sounds good.
Yes.
So excited for you.
I know. So congratulations again on all the success and on the sponsorships. And I'll have to look at your jeans. And Claudia, do you want to put her Instagram back up one more time, please? And then you have a YouTube channel as well, right?
I do. Not as much content as the Dragon Pharma, but
it'll build.
Yes.
It'll build. Awesome. All right. Well, tell your husband thank you for allowing us to steal you for a few minutes. And God bless you and the rest of your prep for the Arnold.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Olivia. All right. We'll see you. That was so fun to talk to these awesome ladies.
I know. She's like so inspiring, especially like just how she looks and how she carries herself, especially coming from figure to wellness and all that. And hopefully she does more shows here in the States too. So we get to see her more often.
Go see her.
Yeah.
Hey guys, if you've enjoyed the Monica Brant Show, don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell, and if you have any ideas or suggestions for the show, comment below and I'm happy to get back to you.